Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Understand the games they play with us. Florida bill would ban discussion of gender identity and transgender in grade school in Florida. And you can understand why people would want this. Children are easily influenced. And if you're around children, you know this idea of transgender is a big thing in their brain because it's a big thing on TV these days. And like almost all of us, especially children, the TV is very powerful. People like to emulate what they see on TV. But the problem with bills like this, it's like I totally understand why you want to ban this conversation. And we wouldn't even be having this conversation if it wasn't for the news media. The reason we weren't having this conversation when I was in grade school is because this wasn't a topic in society pushed by the mainstream 24/7, 365. But you have to recognize the way this game works. People like DeSantis. A lot of people like DeSantis right now because he's doing the things that are popular, that are going against what we see as the tyranny in this nation. But understand, DeSantis is another Jesuit actor. He gets to play the good cop in the good cop, bad cop game, at least in the eyes of a lot of us. For some people, they see him as the bad cop. And again, that's because we're a divided people. It's because we don't really understand what's going on. We fight over what we think we know. But here's the problem with this bill. Let's just say this bill passes. You know what happens over time? They start banning conversations. These numbers on the screen, man. Anyway. If you guys don't know, you should look into the June 12th, 2020 simulation at Georgetown, the Jesuit University, called TIP, Transition Integrity Project. They simulated at Jesuit Georgetown that Biden would narrowly defeat Trump. Trump would refuse to step down, saying the election was stolen, which would lead to deadly violence and political conflicts in the streets of America. Hello, staged Capitol insurrection. But 144 days prior to the election, that simulation was, and not arbitrarily. If you learn gematria, if you write out Jesuit order, it equals 144. Same as if you write out President Biden. From the very Jesuit town of Scranton, Pennsylvania. And Trump's also a Jesuit. He went to Fordham. Again, the reason that you cannot do this ban bill, though, is in time, then they start banning more topics. And then next thing you know, it's illegal to talk about things that people actually need to know about. Again, it's just another way to infringe on your rights and liberties. And that's how people don't realize how the tricks are waged by government for us to consent to giving up our own rights and freedom. These Jesuits are sinister. And speaking of Jesuitism, look up what the definition of that was at the start of the 1800s. It had to do with being dishonest. It was an understood phrase within society that Jesuitism was a way of tricking people. Isn't that interesting? Hey, did I mention the United States of America equals 144? So does corporation. Why do you think they slap a number on us from birth, raise us in their tax cattle 13 years slave school system, and then expect us to go out and either get in big debt with tuition, you know, thanks to the bankers that own this country. Oh, you want to get an education? You're going to get super in debt to us first. Or you can just go out and start your slave job right away and start paying taxes. A big chunk of your daily earnings. Anyway, guys. Just putting that sign in front of your yard is more effective than actually having the alarm, for the record. And then some owls. Reminds me of Anderson Cooper after Sandy Hook. Isn't it funny that they had to apologize, the news media, after Sandy Hook? They had to apologize for all day scaring people, showing footage of a active shooter drill at a school 20 miles from Sandy Hook. If you don't know that to be true, look it up. It's a fact. All day they showed you footage of a drill 20 miles from where the supposed school shooting was. And that's how they explained the conflict between the footage they showed all day of the 3 men in fatigues with weapons who looked like military running out the back of the school, and how at the end of the day it was just one 112-pound shooter, Adam Lanza, who looked like a bad Photoshop. I got everything they put up on the screen. I just want to say something more about. But again, you guys, realize it's trickery. It's deception. It's tricking you into doing things that are not in your own interest. Yeah, you don't want your kids to hear about, I mean, I totally get it. I get where everyone's coming from who would vote for that. But you have to understand, the real plan is to install that kind of precedent and then start doing it with things that actually matter that your children should know about. All right, Truth Seeker. Until next time.